Now, this was a video done by Tim Pool about Gen Z becoming conservative, basically because of demographic change and birth rates. Conservatives like to breed more than the left, who are, cauterizing their ovaries and getting abortions. And in this video, they take the time to explain why Gen Z is going to the right, essentially because the left has gone insane. And they did this thing where they brought up the issue of abortion specifically, about how the left has lost its mind. And they brought up the point that you're not supposed to be pro-abortion, you're supposed to be pro-choice. That was the rhetoric. You're not supposed to get up and shout your abortion. That was never a popular position that the majority of Americans that were attracted to the pro-choice label ever wanted to concede to. That one of the comments there was, "It's not a good look to celebrate a necessary evil as something that should be commonplace." Or I'm paraphrasing. But this video reminded me of another line of thought I had on that particular issue and how we humans interact with it. And it reminded me of a poem by Walt Whitman titled, "I Sing the Body Electric." And just to give you a sample, it says, "I sing the body electric. The armies of those I love engirth me, and I engirth them. They will not let me off till I go with them, respond to them, and discorrupt them, and charge them full with the charge of the soul. Was it doubted that those who corrupt their own bodies conceal themselves? And if those who defile the living are as bad as they who defile the dead, and if the body does not do fully as much as the soul, and if the body were not the soul, what is the soul?" Stanza 2, "The love of the body of man or woman balks account. The body itself balks account. That of the male is perfect, and that of the female is perfect." And it goes on, and it is an extremely long and detailed. It's an extremely detailed account of a man who lived pretty much near the Civil War era, named Walt Whitman. And he is not shy about talking about the joys of the body and of the flesh and of association of sight and sense and sound. And the reason why it reminded me of this poem in particular, and I encourage everyone to go and read this wonderful poetry, is the left no longer sings the body electric, but the right and the conservatives always have. We have always sang the body electric. We enjoy life and living and pleasure and food and sense and music and all of that. And what it comes down to, in my opinion, when it comes to the discussion of abortion, even on its most harrowing and horrific conditions, is there's a sense of gratitude about the life that we live and the sensations and the pleasures we have living our lives, that it is natural and good for us to consider the development and experiences of another human being, that we would pass this gift on to someone else, that they would have the opportunity to also feel and enjoy singing the body electric. And it really, the reason why this train of thought came to me is because given the situation in, I believe it was either Poland or Sweden. I forget which country it is, but they recently changed their eugenics, their abortion laws to say you cannot abort a child for any eugenic reason. And some people were upset about this, and they were upset about it because apparently it would give people, it would take away from people, it would take away from people the right to abort a baby who had a harrowing health condition, something like not being born without a skull or something horrific like that. And I'll be perfectly honest. So what if the baby is born without a skull? Now, and I really, really mean that. I truly want everyone to take a step back and realize the reality of the baby being born without a skull is not hypothetical at that point. It's a reality. The child already exists. And at that conjecture, at the point that we come to when we decide whether or not to abort such a child, the choices are A, give birth to the child, love the child, comfort the child, live in such a way that this infant is given as much love and tenderness and care and compassion as its short life could possibly contain, or allow it to be ripped apart by a set of forceps. Which is the more human choice? And that's what it means, and that's the real choice placed before us when it comes to whether or not these children with these deformations should be born or not. Of course they should, despite the fact that their lives will be short and racked with pain. The fact is they have a right to experience that short life. And the parents, the mother, has a right to serve in the capacity of enriching that life. And I hope that we are more capable as conservatives of not just, being Ben Shapiro and, the facts not caring about your feelings, but we also need to boldly assert that the feelings don't care about your facts either. That our arguments and our positions are not just correct, they're not just moral, they are dignified, they are compassionate, and they are true. And I just wanted to leave that with you, that Carnal sings the body electric. Stay carnal, guys. Have a good one.